Oh man, he's sticking the whole thing in. I'm gonna have to edit so much of this for YouTube, Jesus Christ. Hey, what's happening people? It's Courtney-Jai, the guy who accidentally headbutts his washing machine as he puts clothes in it. I don't know how I did that. I've got this like little red lump here, which kind of stings. But today we are reacting to Fellow Travelers, and this was actually a recommendation from Jackie Lavender. He recommended me last week that I should definitely watch it because he's absolutely loving it, and he thinks you guys would love it too. So I'm gonna react to it. I'm gonna see what it's like. I know it has, I think it's Matt Bomer in it, who I've always really liked as an actor, so I'm really looking forward to this. I'm guessing it's a queer show, but I don't really know, but he said watch it, you'll love it, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to react to episode 1, and you guys can tell me your thoughts on it down below, and I can share my thoughts, because I'm going into this without seeing a trailer, without seeing anything. This is just my first reaction, and I'm really looking forward to it. But I want to give a shout out to my Patreons, because if you want to watch this video unedited, you can do over there. Those guys are absolutely amazing. You guys are absolutely killing it. There's over like 150 of you now. I just feel so grateful to have every single one of you. You guys are absolutely amazing. I appreciate all the support you give to the channel. And yeah, I want to give you more and more content. So there were some exclusive videos I put over there with Jackie, and I'm going to do an exclusive React series over there as well, I think. So if you want to get on that, if you want to watch all these videos unedited, you can do over there. And I want to say thank you, and I love you all, and I appreciate it very much. But let's get into episode 1. I am out of breath. That was a lot to say in a few seconds. So I've got my headphones today because my my in-ear ones, they need to be charged, and I don't know where the charger is, so I'm going to use my big boys today. And I'm going to be pressing play now. I accidentally pressed next. Oh, no, it's fine. Okay. So it's Showtime, and I like Showtime shows, so it's going to be well made. You know, things like Dexter are made by Showtime, so... 1986. I thought it might have been set in the past. Okay. I do find it weird in America that you guys have like 3-seaters in the front, because we have a gear stick and everything in England typically. So you just wouldn't have 3-seaters unless you're in like a van.
Hey, there's ice cream in the kitchen. Tell your mother I said it's okay.
Thanks, Dad. The last thing they need is more sugar. I almost gave up my dream of moving to Italy with the man I love.
In the end, you settled for going with me.
I'm trying to work out if they've made him look older, if he just looks older now because he is older.
I didn't know he was in town. Bring him over to say hi.
Yeah, I will. Oh, when did you get in?
Yesterday. I didn't know you were having a party.
Oh, no, it's just a little celebration. I've finally been posted to Milan.
Nice. Italy.
By the way, I've been meaning to write you.
We talk in private. It's about Tim.
Let's go to my office.
Hawk, when Tim heard I was coming to DC, he asked me to drop by.
How is he?
How are any of us? You don't know from one day to the next who's... Sorry. I'm just tired of going to funerals. Tim's organizing his life. He wants you to have this.
How bad is it? How long does he
I'm
have?
not a fortune teller.
And you?
No, so far. How about you?
Me?
It's not impossible.
I'm careful.
Careful.
Is he with someone?
He's had a couple romances. Nothing that lasted. Something kept getting in the way. I better go. Give my best to Lucy.
Do you have a number for him?
I feel very much in the dark here right now.
Tim doesn't want to hear from you. He asked me to make that clear. You have a beautiful family, a beautiful life. I hope it was worth it.
Okay. So I'm guessing it might reflect in the past about what's going on. That's probably why they've made him look older, because they're going to show him younger as himself. Is that DC? Okay, yeah, I was right, okay. About to say, yeah, I didn't think he was that old. I just thought, oh damn, the years have not been kind to him over the last like 4 years.
You're at the wrong party. Your man's a Democrat.
I'm neutral, like Switzerland.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. What do you want?
What?
To drink.
You got some milk?
What?
Milk.
Milk?
To Hawk and Lucy, the deputy consul in Milan, and the woman who makes it all possible.
I mean, I can respect that. I'm not a big drinker, so like, if you're gonna have milk, you're gonna have milk.
We have a new president. One who doesn't want party line thinkers or fellow travelers. Ike will conduct the fight.
Doesn't want fellow travelers. So what does fellow travelers mean?
We will make America safe and strong again.
I'm guessing he's gonna be like secretly bisexual in this, or... might be full on using her as a beard. Like, yeah, this looks. I think they're setting out like it's meant to be like gangsters, but he's actually gone there to meet men. Wow, okay, that escalated quick. Whoa, that boy looks ravaged. So, he's definitely at least bisexual. I mean, you definitely don't get that into it just being like, I'm just dabbling, you know?
I'm Eddie. How about you?
Milton, but my friends call me Uncle Milty.
Really? I know the score, okay? I know a lot of my friends will trick with a guy and then press him for money, but that's not me, okay? I got a job at the State Department.
Lighter.
Why? What, you think I was gonna steal it? No, this is fun. I mean, you wanna give me your number?
Give me the lighter.
Yeah, these would have been, well, I don't know if being gay was illegal in the 50s. I think it was.
Night, Eddie.
I mean, it definitely was looked down upon massively. You were seen as like having a mental illness back then. So men would have had to be very careful.
Miss Addison, I'll send over those tickets to the City Series. Won't you, darling?
Of course, Mr. Fuller.
You're gonna love the seats. Third baseline.
So it's going to be him like blending his political like stuff with his queerness and hiding it.
I'm running down to the commissary. May I bring you anything?
You're a doll, but I'm on my way out. Thanks.
Okay.
Now don't be jealous, Miss Johnson.
Don't flatter yourself.
I feel what makes me sad because I'm guessing he's going to be like Tim or something, and
Yeah.
obviously
Election night.
it's going to end bad for him.
Right. What were you doing at that party? You had to know someone.
I worked on the New York campaign. I thought it would land me a good job in Washington.
Any luck?
I interned for 3 months at the Star, in the mailroom. I have a degree in political science and history. I think I should aim a little higher, don't you?
Ah, you've come to Washington to make a difference.
Are you making fun of me, Mr. Fuller?
You know my name?
I looked you up in the biographical register.
May I ask you a personal question?
All right.
Is this milk drinking a habit of yours?
I think my parents were hoping it would make me taller. I'm Tim Laughlin, by the way.
Pleased to meet you, Tim Laughlin. What kind of work are you looking for? What keeps you up at night?
Well, that's easy. Stalin's plan for world domination.
For or against?
Well, now you are making fun of me. The threat of communism is real.
Down, boy. I'm no red. I'm a war hero. They include that in the register?
They did.
No, so this is when it went into like the Cold War and stuff.
And you worked at the State Department the last 2 years in the Bureau of Congressional Relations.
Did you memorize my entry? Give me your number. No? In case I hear of anything in the Making the World Safe for Democracy department.
Make it sound like a bad thing.
I find it interesting seeing how like men would represent themselves back then when they were queer.
I have to go, and you should be careful. Look here, behind you. Don't stare.
Yeah.
It's Park Police. It's the end of the month. They have to hit their quota.
Quota.
Oh.
I should leave soon anyway.
Job interview?
It's noon mass St. Joseph's.
Perfect. I'll spend the afternoon picturing you kneeling in prayer.
Okay. So what, would the Park Police aiming to catch queer people? I don't really sure. Like, people who have historical information on this could probably let me know in the comments. So obviously they both know that they like each other without having to spell it out.
The unholy trinity. Look at Cone, fussing over that boy like a newlywed. Turns a man's stomach. It certainly does.
Some man for you.
Mr. Laughlin,
This is I?
I'm gonna give you an address.
Mr. Fuller.
Took me a few days to find the right job for you. Unless you've already found one.
No. I mean, I'm considering a couple of positions.
Start writing.
So I'm guessing like he's not going to be the nicest character. I reckon he's going to use his influence over him, almost manipulate him into like, you know, he's like pulling strings so he can get in there. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but like I feel like that's how it's going to get like darker and darker. Is like he's going to start using him maybe. Although it could be a lovely love story as well. So.
Hello, is Mr. Fuller in?
I'm afraid he's not.
Do you know when he'll be back? I have something for him.
Oh, I'll take it. You can give it to me. Oh, the Comer Angel. Wolf's great writer. Will Mr. Fuller know who it's from?
I wrote a note inside. You'll be sure he gets it.
I promise.
Thank you.
The women kind of just swoon over Mr. Fuller, don't they?
Oh, he seems very artistic.
Front door was open.
Mr. Fuller, I'm not allowed visitors.
You're gonna burn that. Came by to see if you let me buy you supper.
He
brought me a book.
That was to thank you.
Looks like you're already cooking something. What is it?
Chicken noodle soup. And I really shouldn't go out. It's a sin to waste food.
I feel like they're going to commit some sins in a minute.
What if you let me kiss you? Would that be mortal or venial?
Mortal. Pretty sure.
Would you like me to kiss you?
No, Mr. Fuller.
Well, that one's gotta be mortal. If the size of the lie figures in. You like working for your hero?
And yes, I am happy working for him. And grateful.
Maybe you could do me a favor. Let me know what you're asked to research. Keep your ears open. What's the matter?
The job. I didn't realize you had ulterior motives.
Welcome to the capital of ulterior motives.
He wants to use him, doesn't he?
Our faculty advisor was Father Gallagher from the religion department. Not much older than I was. We both loved the church, the liturgy, the rituals. One thing led to another. And when it was over, I asked Bob, that was his name, if he thought God would forgive us for what we'd done. He said God would forgive us, but he could never forgive God for making him what he was.
Oh, that was very dark section, but that kind of shows like how much stuff has changed in the last 70 years.
Is this all right?
Yeah.
Oh. Wanna get physical. Didn't I expect him to have a hairy chest?
Yeah.
God has no part of this.
Pull them off.
Bro is ripped.
Trousers. Fold them.
He's got a very manipulative, controlling manner, hasn't he? Like, I know this is kind of like a mouse sort of thing, but well.
Who's Skippy? That's what I'm gonna call you.
Any particular reason?
It suits you. Like the glasses. Next time we'll turn her toward the wall.
Just loves that chicken soup. I'm guessing he went to war or something.
This is Uncle Ronald, the drunk and designated hopeless sinner of the family.
I think you're giving Uncle Ron a run for that title.
Thanks to you.
You love your family.
And they love me, and the part of me that they know. I don't know anything about you. You never talk about your family or your politics.
I feel like it must have been so hard to be queer back then, because even if you did find someone you found matched your feelings, you'd never be able to be open about it.
Though I have heard rumors.
Do tell.
Jean Kerr says you are unofficially engaged to Senator Smith's daughter, Lucy.
It's late.
But now you're angry.
I'm not angry, but I don't like being questioned like a witness at one of McCarthy and Cohn's show trials.
It's normal to want to know something about the person you
Fuck. Person you fuck.
It's normal to want to know something about the person I'm fucking. It sounds so ugly.
I'm not engaged to anyone at the moment. First person I slept with didn't catch his name.
I said first
I'm
lover.
a registered Republican, but I don't vote because I really don't see the point.
Yeah, he's got that whole aggression thing with it. So like he knows he's gay, but in a way like he's almost represses it with his anger.
I feel like a hypocrite going to church, especially when I'm supposed to be spying on my boss, who's regarded as a saint by millions of Catholics.
Skippy, I don't want you to do anything you don't want to do. Not for God, not for me.
He almost dehumanized him by calling him Skippy. It's like what you'd call a dog. And he feels like that. He feels very loving towards him, where he feels like, you know, you're just a means to the end. This is where I get my fix from. And I feel like that's going to be like a recurring theme, that like Tim will be very loving, caring and stuff, where he'll just be kind of like very like, you're mine when I want you. When I don't want you, leave me alone.
Huh, do you have a minute? Something I need to, I'm sorry.
Of course.
Sure. Why don't we step away? Sorry I've been out of touch. How's Sylvie?
I'm being investigated. They had me followed and caught me coming out of the chicken hut.
The chicken hut? Christ, George, even my mother knows that place is queer.
I love Sylvie and I adore my kids, but I have needs. If anyone should understand, it's you.
Keep your voice down.
McLeod wants names. Reds are queers in the department. If I don't produce names, they'll go to Sylvie and tell her everything. What am I gonna do?
Give them a name.
I can't. I wouldn't do that to you. Would you do that to me?
Give them a name of someone with a low security clearance who can survive being banned from government work.
I don't know anyone like that.
Shh. Think. Any of your tricks?
I don't ask their names. I can barely stand to look at them.
It's quite interesting to see this in like, I mean, after Heartstopper, Young Royals and all that, like, that's secret, but it's not illegal secret. Like, it's just frowned upon in those sort of shows. Like, or like, not frowned upon, but like, you know, there's like this whole like viewpoint of what people expect from people coming out and stuff. Where this is where it was like illegal, like you would be arrested, you'd put away. So it's very interesting to see the dynamic of like queer men would know other queer men, and they would like try and protect each other in that regard, and they would still live like normal lives while facilitating their needs as queer men.
I have a feeling you're calling about Tim.
I am. You still in touch?
I talk to him when he's well enough, or his sister when things get bad.
If you're thinking of seeing him, you should do it soon.
I'm gonna give you his address. 1209 20th Street, apartment 3.
Because even this is a reflection, like the 80s, it's still like, was like the next step forward, the next battle for like queerness. So, oh no, smiling.
Excuse me. Hello? 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 Small world, huh? You work here too?
I don't. I'm over at Commerce. I have a meeting upstairs. Do we know each other?
Eddie, in the park?
You're not reading between the lines.
Gold lighter?
I'm sorry. I don't think we met.
Who do you think you are, huh? You stuck-up son of a bitch? You know exactly who I am.
I'm afraid you have me confused with somebody else.
That's the difference of showing someone who is like, is doing those queer experiences young versus someone who's obviously done them for a while and is now going to protect themselves. I can see him going to his friend going, give him this guy's name because, you know.
George Bowers, please. Educational exchange. George, it's Hawk. I have a name for you.
There you go. Because you can't risk it. You can't risk being caught out, can you? You know, take anybody down who gets in his way.
Hell,
And I think that's what's going to end up happening to him. Like, not straight away or anything. I don't know if this is a limited series or it's going to have multiple series, but I feel like Tim is going to get thrown under the bus, and that's what that guy was referring to at the beginning where he said, like, was it worth it?
Skippy, get in here.
I heard something.
How'd you find my place?
You're in the directory. Hawkins Z. Fuller. I'd love to know what the Z stand for.
Next time you call from the phone booth on the corner.
I'm gonna go.
Relax. Can I get you a drink?
I'll have a beer.
Zebediah.
Zebediah?
Don't start.
That sounds very biblical, Zebediah. But, I mean, America, 50s, very biblical. Still is very religious.
Will there be important people at this party?
Joe only knows important.
That's what he sent him.
Hey, give me that. Now, what'd you want to tell me, Skippy?
There was an argument at the office about Eisenhower.
Take off your jacket.
The president is going to issue an EO, whatever that is.
Executive order.
You can see the little hints of him being very controlling.
Senator McCarthy wants to ignore it, but Roy thinks that they should.
Roy, on a first-name basis?
Mr. Cohn thinks the smarter move is to make people think that they, McCarthy and Cohn, are behind the order.
Any idea what the executive order's about?
No. What are you going to do with this information? You going to share it with Senator Smith?
Only if I have to. I have to get dressed.
I want to go to the party.
To Joe's? I mean, don't get me wrong, he would glom onto you like a jellyfish.
So take me.
You're not dressed for it. You don't have a date.
I'd be with you.
You can't bring a man to this.
This is the real world.
Yeah, you have to share it with a woman.
Hmm?
Wow.
And your boy wants to go to the party.
Okay.
Not yet.
They're very much into the dumb and submissive, aren't they? Don't kiss his foot, please. No. I don't do feet. Oh, no. No. If I see a toe go in the mouth, man, I'm going to be sick.
Open up.
No. I'm sorry, that's just the one thing I've not. No. God. Oh, man, he's sticking the whole thing in.
Now show me what my boy really wants. Suppose I could loan you a tie and a top coat.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to edit so much of this for YouTube, Jesus Christ.
May I get you another drink?
Thank you, sir. You are an attentive escort.
A champagne, please.
Enjoying yourself, Skippy?
Yes.
Keep your eyes on the bartender. Champagne cocktail.
He's almost teaching him how to represent in this higher up world.
Lucy wants to know if you're going to China for a drink.
Duty calls. This is Marcus.
So this is the guy who came and visited him at the beginning.
How do you know Mr. Fuller?
We belong to the same club.
Ah.
Have the two of you?
In one respect, we're perfectly suited to each other.
How?
We prefer sex without emotional entanglements. You've been warned.
Leave the candle alone. That's the thing. I feel like there's going to be a conflict here where he's almost keeps detached from it. Like his queerness is just a means to the end. Like that's why he's aggressive. That's why he like humiliates the people he's with. Where I think he'll have an emotional connection with Tim, and that will make things uglier as it goes on because he won't want to be with him because of the way he views the situation. But he wants to be with him as well. So just keep manipulating him.
I say we get out of here.
Where are we going?
Someplace way more exciting.
Oh, is this going to be like an underground gay club? That's the thing, these things would have existed back then. And like, I guess we'll only know if we ask the people who, I mean, this is like 70 years ago. So, you know, people who have these stories to tell, they're going to be in their 80s, 90s. That's the crazy thing, isn't it? Like, we take all this stuff for like granted now that you could just go out to a gay bar, where this would have, like, you were risking your life to be here.
I hope you're gonna dance with me tonight.
Hey, Buster, see that red light in the cash register there? That comes on, you better make 12 inches of daylight between you and your friend ready. And do it fast. Only takes 3 seconds for the cops to come downstairs. And you're responsible for them.
I find it fascinating because, like, you just think they'd have like security systems, they'd have like people on monitor, like they'd have to, as I said, watch out for raids and stuff like that, because you get caught there, you're in trouble. Like, they can pretend that this is an underground club for like thing, but it's all men as well. Like, you'd feel like maybe they'd like try and blend some women in there for like cover up, I guess, but
Don't gulp, Scotch. You sip it.
Okay, Hawk, I have to ask you a question.
You sure you have to ask?
What we're doing, I stopped thinking if it's right or wrong, or even a sin, I don't care. But there is one thing I don't think I could live with.
if it's not real.
Are you going to marry Lucy Smith?
Christ.
Hawk!
I mean, it's kind of thing what was expected, wasn't it? Like, if you with a woman, you wouldn't like sit around for years and stuff. You'd be married within like a year or two. Not even that. You'd be married quick, because obviously the idea of marriage and sex.
Hawk. We had fun, didn't we? We're fools, and we got away with it. It was sweet, really sweet. But Skippy, that's all it was. That's all it can be. Sorry.
Is there a problem?
No, there's no problem. Make your coffee, I'll take you home.
Bless him. He's like innocent in that regard, isn't he? He doesn't understand the
Committed
rules.
moral sins for you.
Oh, here we go.
I could go to hell.
Hell's a fantasy, Skippy. So's heaven. The Trinity, democracy, and the holy war against communism. Grand ideas that just get people killed. Now, would you sit down?
Yeah, Mrs. I don't know how you do it. Caring only about what you want, what gives you pleasure at any given moment.
Here comes the sermon. You let me know when I should genuflect.
I'm not ashamed to feel things, that I need to feel things, believe in things. You're the coward, not me.
Well, maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Maybe like he allows him to open up and express himself emotionally over time, but then he makes the choice.
It's from your travel agent, so I assume it's a plane ticket.
Yeah, I have to make a quick trip. Just 2 or 3 days at the most.
I know where you're going. I heard you talking to Mary. Does he have...
Yeah.
Is he dying?
I don't know. Lucy, you're everything to me.
If I was everything, you wouldn't be going where you're going.
So she does know them, which even for the time, that's, I guess, power, money, where you are in the world. She accepts the stuff what occurs because of where she is and who he is. Like, she's probably deeply in love with him, but...
You look a little troubled.
Suppose I am. Aren't we meant to come to confession with perfect contrition?
If we've sinned, all God asks is that we be sorry for it. Is there a particular sin weighing on your mind?
I've had carnal relations.
That's a serious sin. Are you in love with a young woman?
No.
It's not a woman.
Oh, wow.
If you are sincerely sorry, God will forgive you and make you pure.
But that's the problem.
What is?
When I committed this sin, I felt pure. So how can I be sorry for it?
What do you want, George?
I cooperated, used that name. They're gonna let me resign quietly.
Glad it worked out.
But it didn't exactly work out. That kid, the name you gave me, they picked him up. Hockey tried to kill himself.
Go home, kiss your wife, hug your kids, be grateful for what you have.
How am I supposed to live with myself?
Christ, George, how the hell do I...
That's the thing, he's got that cutthroatness to him that he'll cut anybody down. He tries to put him in any form of like jeopardy.
The FBI's Sex Deviance Investigations Unit.
Crazy that there was that.
Washington, D.C. Police Sex Perversion Elimination Program.
It blows my mind. Like, we take so much for granted these days.
These are people the rest of us consider sad, sick, even pathetic.
Imagine having to hear that, knowing that you're one of the people they're targeting. Having to write stories about it. Having to, like, listen to it every day.
An investigation may be commenced based on an accusation by a fellow employee, even if the employee making the accusation prefers to remain anonymous.
We're not disturbed about them because of their morals.
We're disturbed about them because they are dangerous to this country.
And yeah, apparently being gay makes you dangerous. It's just so like... Man, it's hard to take in, isn't it? It's very hard for you to just hear that. And this is real. This is what happened.
Kenny, that was his name, my first. Remember, you asked? 11th grade, played on the tennis team together. That paperweight that you saw in my apartment. But I was with Kenny when he picked it up on our senior trip. Sweet Kenny, he loved beautiful things. The other boys razzed him about it pretty bad. That's when I started putting distance between us. I guess you could say I deserted him.
You almost had to be cold in those times towards it.
Only I ended up in Europe and Kenny was sent to the Pacific. He died on a beach trying to take Luzon. I'd like to come up to your room. I want to hold you tonight.
That's the first time he's humanized it.
I'm afraid.
I imagine a lot of people are afraid tonight.
I don't mean the executive order. I'm afraid of you. I don't know what to do. What should I do?
My advice?
Stay away.
Go inside, shut that door, and lock it behind you.
He's going to leave that door open. What's mental is like, I know I'm saying I can't believe this, but this is what's going on in like places like Africa, where like the government,
Unfortunately, the lock is broken.
have illegalized being queer, and you know it's the same sort of thing. So we're still not past this point in the world. Like where I live in England, you are. In America, you are. But there's so many other places in the world where it's not okay still. It's still illegal. It's still punishable by death in some places. It's still, you could be in prison for life. And it's just crazy that we just haven't got past that yet.
Hello?
70 years, you know, like...
I'm in San Francisco. I'd like to see you. You were able to see me. Would this be a good time? I didn't want to call first and have you tell not to come. I thought if I just showed up, maybe 10.
I'm here.
Tell you what, I'm gonna give you a number. Think about it. I'll stay here and wait for your call. They're open all night, but I hope you won't make me wait that long.
He must have done something real bad to him. But they say, like, you know, with the idea of like what I just said, with illegalising homosexuality and just being queer, those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. We're not learning, we are doomed to repeat it. That must be tragic to see, as well as like a sense of like relief as well, that like, you know, you could see this. And, like nowadays, like, you know, people who grew up, you know, imagine being like a 90-year-old queer person now looking at like how much has changed in the world for you. And like there's that, the idea of like regret and like wishing that you were born later so you could have experienced life to the fullest, but also there's that sense of relief that like, you know, that people won't have to go through what you went through. People, you know, you can get married, you can have a family. That just wasn't an option. Like this is, it makes me sad because it's tragic. It makes me respect those who came before me to allow me to have that right. To just make a video about being bisexual is so important. And like, it's because of the people who stood up for me. I just... So let's talk about that. So that was not what I expected it to be. To be honest, I knew nothing about the show, and seeing what it's about, it's quite an eye opener really, to see like what really went on in the past. Because I guess like I'm always looking forward. That I very rarely go, let's learn about queer history. Let's learn about, you know, what gay men had to go through, what bi men had to go through. You know that, you know, like. And it doesn't even touch on like the whole aspect of being queer as a woman as well. But that would have been even more drastic, because imagine being queer as a woman, like in a male-dominated world. Like these men can do this because they can kind of set it up. They have money, they have power, they can, you know, set up and organise these things. But that just option wasn't there for women at all. So, yeah, this is, I find it fascinating. It's a very different tonal shift from like everything else what I've watched what's queer, and I really enjoyed that. I feel like Matt Bomer's character is going to be vicious at times. I feel like he's going to act selfishly and then kind of realise what he's doing as he's doing it, as he did in that. He, like, you know, he put Tim in his place and kind of was like, you don't know, you don't understand how this works, like you need to kind of grow up. And then, like, he threw someone under the bus to protect himself and protect a fellow friend. But then, you know, he went to Tim and kind of represented that he does like him. He just have emotional connection to him. this isn't just sex to him, this is something more, but he also tries to dehumanize him, and that's the vibe I'm picking up from. The reason why he kind of like has that very dominating like presence around him, and the reason why he's called him Skippy, because if he doesn't call him Tim, he's not Tim, he's Skippy. Skippy is something completely different to Tim, and I can see that like he kind of separates them. I reckon what we're going to see later on is that he'll go from Skippy and he will call him Tim, and it will be a shock because it's like, oh, you know, and that's when he's going to start opening up his feelings, because yeah, Skippy is a way for him to like dehumanize him in every way, that this is just sex, this is just me fulfilling a need rather than me making a connection. I might be wrong on this, I don't know what comes in the next couple of episodes, but if you guys want to spread your thoughts, tell me what you think of the show so far. If it's a show you haven't watched, what did you think of that? Did you find it interesting? Because I thought it was very interesting. I thought it showed something which I've never really looked into, which gives me a whole new perspective on the situation. Yeah, I found it really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to episode 2. I feel like it's going to be quite a daunting watch. It's going to be something which it's not enjoyable to see, but it's enjoyable to watch, if that makes sense. Like, it's going to be like, this is excruciating to see like the agony what these people are going through. So yeah, if you guys like this video, please give it a massive thumbs up. Give it a share because it helps me out a lot. Give a shout out to Jackie and say thank you for getting Courtney to react to this, because I probably wouldn't have watched it if Jackie hadn't recommended it to me. And I'm going to say love, peace, and cheers. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye.